I'm T.
And I'm Sam.
And we are your well-informed girlfriends.
Bringing you today's news, gossip, and unsolicited hot takes. This week, we're talking about the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel following his comments on the death of Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. We're also discussing what the Fed lowering interest rates means for you and a major change coming to the way the U.S. does visas for working professionals.
Yeah, we're also talking about the TikTok ban, what is going on with that, what is happening, and then we're going to break down some fun viral Reddit threads from the week.
Yes, mostly about dating, right?
All about dating.
Always about dating.
Yeah.
So how was your week, Dave?
Okay, my week was great. I would like to address the elephant in the room. I do have a black eye.
I did not punch her.
I do have a small black eye, and it is only because I got a vampire facial yesterday. Have you ever gotten a vampire facial?
No, but I don't like the sound of that.
Okay, a vampire facial was like hot like a few years ago when Kim Kardashian did it. Okay. And it's basically like they draw your blood and they spin out the plasma, separate the plasma, and then inject it back into your skin with like microneedling, and then like sometimes they'll like needle like certain areas. So I got under my eyes, like I just got a little PRP. It's basically your own plasma that they're injecting back into your face. So you like it's to replenish your face.
Got it.
But evidently we hit some sort of blood vessel or something. So now I just have a black eye.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay.
It's okay. Does the rest of your skin feel good though?
The rest of my skin feels okay. I mean, I got it yesterday.
Oh, so it takes a minute.
Typically, it'll be like a week from now. I think my skin will be glowing. But today kind of just feels dry and like a black eye.
Just a casual black eye.
And I actually kind of think it's fun and a little edgy to have a black eye.
And you're like, you should see the other guy.
Yeah, like I think it's kind of fun. It's like, ooh, like what happened to you? Like, are you good? And I'm like, yeah. I went and got a facial.
No, got in a fight at a bar. Don't worry about it. No, I'm just kidding. That's
okay,
fun.
What's going on with you?
Nothing much, although I did finally get a new iPhone.
Okay.
This is not product placement though, Apple. We are willing to accept money. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, right. But it's really cool. It's a really nice camera. I got the 17 Pro.
Version is that? Okay, 17.
And
wow.
I should say, I should mention that I am upgrading from a 13 to...
It's a whole new world.
Like the fact I don't have to charge it every 2 hours is really just that's enough for me.
That's the biggest upgrade with the new iPhones is that they don't run out of battery.
Oh my gosh, I know. Because I've heard that the Air might, but I don't know about that. I got the Pro, so
it's cool.
But the camera's really nice and the glass looks cool. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. This isn't really an endorsement, and I'm not an iPhone expert.
But you seem happy about it.
I am so excited to not carry around a battery to charge my stupid phone. Yeah. It's like, oh, thank God.
So like college coded. That's like so like, oh, we're going to the frats and I have to pack my external charger and I have to pack a battery pack.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very college coded and I would just be constantly carrying it around. Yeah, so it's a huge improvement battery wise. Thank God. My phone is still charged. It's 4:00 and we have 81%.
Wow.
I know. And I've been awake since like 10 a.m. today. So
that's amazing.
Not to brag, but
it's happening.
Anyways.
Okay.
Let's talk about the news.
Let's get into the news. Okay, so as we do typically every week, we'll do some hard hitting and then we'll get into some fun stuff and it'll be great.
Yeah.
So our first thing we do have to talk about, which was on everybody's programming this week, everybody's mind, I feel like everyone was talking about it.
For sure.
Jimmy Kimmel. So this week, ABC and its parent company, Disney, indefinitely suspended the late-night talk show Jimmy Kimmel Live following widespread controversy over comments made by Jimmy Kimmel about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Now, if you've seen the clip, he doesn't really say much. He basically implies that the MAGA base was trying to, convince us of like whatever political affiliation that this shooter was. But anyways, it was pretty benign comment. So during his September 15th monologue, that's when it happened, Kimmel criticized what he described as conservatives trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and using this tragedy, quote, for political points. So, and then the FCC got involved.
Yeah, so the FCC got involved. The chair, Brendan Carr, is he's using the power of the FCC in a very different way than what we've seen it in the past. Mm-hmm. Basically, he got on a podcast and suggested making regulatory and licensing consequences unless the network took action. And like, basically what that means is overall, all the TV stations you watch on your hometown. So like, for example, I'm from Chicago. If I watch NBC Chicago, that is actually not always owned by the like NBC. In NBC Chicago's case it is, but this was a bad example. But like, if you're watching the ABC station in Spokane, Washington, that's actually not owned by ABC. It's owned by a different parent company. And so these individual broadcasters, they're the ones that own the licenses. And so they can be pressured in a way that like national networks can't necessarily be pressured in the same way. Some major ABC affiliate station owners, including Nexstar and Sinclair, which both, by the way, are generally considered to be a little bit more right-leaning. They pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live from their stations, saying that the remarks were offensive or misleading, and the complaints from them, plus advertisers, political figures, and the public debate intensified the pressure on ABC/Disney, and that's kind of what resulted in them pulling this show. And I will say that it's not clear if it'll return or under what terms. As we understand it, and as what many other news outlets have reported, it sounds like they're negotiating. I think Kimmel's contract was slated to come up in like the near future, not like tomorrow, but in a couple of months. So it's unclear what will happen there. And we haven't heard from Kimmel yet, which I do think is interesting.
That is interesting. Well, I'm sure he's just honestly trying to play it. Like, I think we have to, like, see what's going to happen. This is, like, such an unprecedented move by everyone involved. It's like, wait, you don't want to make the wrong move at this time. So I'm sure he's just probably talking to lawyers and trying to figure out the next steps, right?
Right.
And also, we should mention that there's some sort of merger that they're trying to get passed, which FCC has to approve. Who was that?
So Nexstar is buying out another company. I can't remember the name of it, but Nexstar is buying another smaller station ownership group. So essentially what's happened, by the way, just quick little local news history.
Yeah.
What's happened is there used to be a lot of locally owned stations that were owned by like a family in town, or maybe like the newspaper owned one other station, that kind of thing. A lot of those stations have sort of gone by the wayside, and now there are like 3, 4, 5 major net station ownership groups. So Tegna, Nexstar is one of them, Sinclair is another, and they own dozens of television stations across the country, which means they have more bargaining power in this particular instance.
Right. Okay. So, because that merger is coming up, they felt the need to,
They felt the need to probably cave. I mean, and this is us extrapolating, but like the FCC is in charge of approving some of those mergers of major broadcast companies. And so if the FCC is saying like, in not so subtle terms, like they're going to have to revisit their licenses and the merger itself, all of that could come into play as well. And I think that's kind of what we saw with the other thing that people caved on earlier this year with the CBS News situation. They were trying to get that Paramount merger through. Exactly. And so I think that's, big business.
Always a part of it.
Big business. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely not, it's not even like low level. It's like high level, like corporate.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. It's definitely not like the news people in the debate. Because I think it's freaked out a lot of people in the news media. I will say this just from personal experience and like speaking to my friends, everyone's nervous.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. And also, like, I should mention, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen so many things online of people canceling their Hulu subscriptions, canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions, canceling their trips to Disney, their Disney cruise trips with their families. So, I think people feel the need to say something that aren't excited or agreeing with this, so that they feel that the only way that they can do that is to put their money put their mouth where their money is, I guess.
Yeah, and vote with your cash, I guess.
Vote with your money. And so I think a lot of people have been doing that.
I mean, like, and if that's how people feel, I think that's a good way of doing it. I think, in a capitalist society, that's one of the main ways people can show how they feel. So respect to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how it unfolds. I have talked to a few like industry people, and it sounds like people think that Kimmel will come back.
If I had to guess, based on the vibe, I think that too.
Yeah. So we'll see. But it'll be interesting, like, when he comes back.
And in what capacity.
And what will he be, quote unquote, allowed to say, not allowed to say. And you also have to think about, it's one thing to censor a person or cancel a program. It's another thing to scare everybody else on TV and scare every other personality. I mean, I saw Stephen A. Smith. There was a clip of Stephen A. Smith talking about how, people have to adjust to the new normal. So basically, like, adjusting your speech, adjusting what you cover, adjusting what you, how you speak about the administration or how you speak about things in general. And there's a part of it where it's like, okay, yeah, of course, like, you always have to, like, be moving the target on what you can say and what you can't say. But it's also like, what a shame that we have to totally, like, adjust how we would speak. Because again, it is 2025 and I thought we still had free speech. And so like
it
that
is the First Amendment, like literally the first one.
So
and
I'm
I
just
also
saying,
just say, I don't know,
yeah.
just talking about Charlie Kirk for a second here.
Yeah.
He was such a proponent of free speech, wasn't he? Like that was like his whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of surprising to me that they would say that Jimmy Kimmel should be canceled for this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So some definitely news, I guess exciting, but depending on how you fall on this. The Fed did officially start lowering rates this week. Yeah. So this week, the Federal Reserve made its first interest rate cut since December, lowering the federal funds rate by 0.25 percentage points to a range of 4 to 4.25%. So the Fed that said that the job market is weakening, job gains have slowed, unemployment has ticked up. So they're shifting from fighting inflation to preventing a sharper economic pullback, essentially.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They also said, didn't they say that there would be maybe two more cuts before the year end? Though
yes.
It like depends. So we'll have to wait and see what that means. But that does mean cheaper borrowing. So like mortgages, car loans.
Yeah.
That might ease up a little bit. But I will say inflation is still above target.
Yeah.
So they're sort of walking, what are they doing? Threading a needle.
Yeah, so exactly. I saw something this week where, and I should find the source for this, but it was basically talking about the people who are keeping the economy going are like the people at the top of the food chain. So it's like the top 20% of earners in America are the ones who are actually keeping the economy afloat. And everybody under that is still very nervous to make purchases. And so even like if home prices come down, I think the people that will be making their moves as far as housing and cars and like big purchases are probably still going to be people who are those high earners.
Yeah.
And it's not really, I don't think it will have a huge trickle down effect just yet, but who knows?
Yeah, that's
hopefully eventually.
But hopefully eventually, because I think we both fall in the under 20%.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Anyways, all right. Our next story is about how a sweeping change to America's high-skill immigration landscape that will impact people moving to the U.S. So basically, the Trump administration has announced a new $100,000 fee for H-1B visa applications.
Okay.
And they also put a bunch of restrictions limiting entry for foreign workers outside the U.S. So basically, any professional company that wants to bring in workers from outside, say you're like Meta or Google or whatever, they often have H-1B workers come in to the United States because they are super skilled in whatever area of their expertise is. And so that's what these visas are. But basically now the companies will have to pay an extra $100,000 fee for new H-1B visas.
Okay.
And this takes effect as of today, September 21. It's causing alarm, as you might expect, among tech firms specifically, but also foreign governments and the existing H-1B visa holders themselves. I was actually out to drinks when this news broke with some people from Ukraine who were very stressed. It kind of ruined their night, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Maybe their week. I don't know. It's only been a day, but basically it's a cornerstone. The whole program is like a cornerstone for how U.S. companies bring in skilled talent. It's a lot of times it's engineers, scientists, tech workers, that kind of thing. And it's roles that are harder to fill typically domestically. And so if you change that cost structure and eligibility conditions, that could reduce the number of applicants and like shift the company's hiring strategies, which, as I'm sure, is what the Trump administration is hoping.
Yeah. Well, and so it's basically like that thing where like if I were to go to, I remember when I like studied abroad in London and like the idea of like, oh, like working in Europe would be so awesome, but it's like you have to get a special visa that basically like clears you and kind of the company has to like go to bat and be like, this person is special. We can't find anybody in our country that can do this. So there's like a lot of hoops you have to jump through to do this.
Yeah.
So now this is just adding a fee, which is, you know, a monetary fee on these, on this like particular visa. So that's very interesting. And it could actually have large economic consequences.
Yeah.
So not just for individual visa holders and their families, but also for these firms, like these tech companies that you mentioned that rely on this type of labor for innovation, product development,
competitiveness,
and to stay competitive.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like it's so important for us to have obviously the greatest minds, no matter where they come from in our country, you know, moving things along. And so I think it's like very strange the idea of like making that harder, because that only helps us at the end of the day. But anyways, and I guess the idea is that we would hopefully find Americans who are qualified to do this type of work. And if we can, awesome. So I guess we'll just see. But on a broader scale, this is kind of a part of like a larger tug of war in U.S. policy between tightening immigration and restricting entry versus maintaining like an open path for high skilled workers, essentially for economic growth. Because they want both, right? We want economic growth, but we also want to start restricting immigration, right, in this country. And so I feel like it's kind of hard to do both.
Sure, but like even if you look at this from like a broader foreign policy perspective, the fact of the matter is like if we as America, as a country, get the brain drain from other nations, like if you say, for example, you're from China, but you want to move to America to work for one of the big tech companies here because the pay is better and like whatever reason you want to come to America, if you stay in China, then they're getting the best and brightest minds. And, you know, in this race for the greatest AI or whatever it is we're doing, that could also, you know, have negative repercussions on that front as well.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Well, and I guess that kind of is a good segue to our next story, which is the TikTok ban, the TikTok dealio. What's going on with that?
So we talked about this a little bit last week, but basically the deadline that Trump had laid for them has now come and gone. For China to come up with a deal. So if you remember, we've discussed this a lot on the pod, but basically the U.S. is not comfortable as a government with ByteDance, a Chinese-owned company, having such influential inroads into the United States minds and hearts with TikTok. And so they're trying to make a deal that will keep TikTok in the United States, but will put it under American control.
Okay.
And here's what we know. There is a potential deal. It would put like a lot of investors like Larry Ellison, Michael Dell, Lachlan, and the Murdoch families into the mix. And that's according to multiple news outlets. ByteDance would retain 20% ownership. And this is critical. They would also retain the algorithm. So they don't have to give the American owners the all-encompassing algorithm of TikTok.
Right.
And basically the U.S. Entity side, the 80% that's owned by the U.S. would be led by a board of 6 or 7 seats held by Americans, and the U.S. user data would be stored under a U.S. oversight situation via Oracle. So, like, basically China wouldn't have your user information if you're a U.S. citizen. Oracle would have it.
But don't they already have it? Like, don't they already have my data? I've been shopping on TikTok Shop for years. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You think they're just going to hand that over?
I don't know. I don't work there.
I know, I'm just saying, but it's just like that's like so silly. And also, by the way, I don't love Oracle having all of my data. Like, but unfortunately, it's just the world we live in.
Oracle might already have all your data from something
They do.
else.
Everybody has all our data. I'm like, nothing's precious anymore. What do you need? My social security? You have it. Like, what do you like? It is just like such a weird time we're living in.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a new deadline now.
Oh, great.
It's like the 3rd, 4th, whatever one.
Yeah.
And the new deadline is December 16th. Okay. So maybe by the end of the year, we'll see a result.
Okay. Honestly, I will say, like, I didn't used to have, like, an opinion about the TikTok thing because I was like, whatever, like, if it goes away. But now I, like, really feel like it is very important for our democracy to have places like that, to have TikTok, to have social media, to have, like, a place to, like, voice your opinion. And so I just hope it stays. Because
I have to say, back when we were first talking about TikTok going away, I was like, great, free me from this prison of brain drain that I live in.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, well, I'm worried about if people are getting silenced at the highest levels, then I think it's important for democracy to have a way to voice them.
Yeah, exactly.
But it will just move. I mean, people are resilient. They would just move to Instagram Reels, I think.
Yeah, they would figure it out. I mean, yeah. People love social media.
Exactly.
As we know. Okay, so NPR did a story this week that I thought was really interesting. A neuroscientist basically explained how to break free from romantic infatuation. So you know that feeling, like, I know you're married, but like just put yourself in a world where you weren't. You remember when you were like so obsessed with someone, like maybe you're newly dating, and
oh my
like,
gosh, yes, or like a high school crush. I feel,
or like a new guy that you're like, oh my god, I can't wait. Like, I need to see, like, did he follow someone new on Instagram? Like, you're like stalking his every move. You're like, what's going on? You're kind of almost like, you're like so excited when he texts you, but you're like sick to your stomach if he's not around. Anyways, so there is a word for that, I guess, and it is called limerence. So the term was actually coined by a psychologist, Dorothy Tanov, in the 70s to describe this romantic obsession. So characterized by extremely high emotional highs and low lows. So anyways, this neuroscientist kind of explored this condition of being like very romantically obsessed with someone and kind of broke down the several strategies to get over this limerence.
Okay.
So, and I actually like totally understand this. Like, I feel like I felt this way so many times about guys. I like get like obsessed. But they have some guidance.
Okay. What
so
are
finally there's some answers.
Tips and tricks.
Okay. And they're going to sound pretty obvious, but I think it's good to remember them.
Okay.
So one is limit contact.
Okay.
So whether that's like social media, like avoiding their social media, which is so hard to do.
Yeah.
Avoiding their social media and trying to not put like don't hang out with them as much, or like just put some distance between you and that person. I actually really prefer dating people who don't have social media because I feel like I'm not like over analyzing their social media. Like when I'm dating a guy who's like pretty heavily involved in social media or whatever, and it's like constantly following people, I like actually do lose my mind because I'm like, who's the new follower? Who liked his photos? Like who's this girl? Like I actually like, it does drive me insane. So I get that. And then also he said that you should try having like things to look forward to that are not related to that person.
Okay.
So
like a trip or
like a trip,
staycation.
book a trip, or like hang out with your friends, or like stay busy was like one of the things too. It was just like try to like take that energy that you have toward that person and put it somewhere productive and like constructive. Stay off of their things. Try not to put that person in your brain subconsciously by looking at their things all day, and go hang out with people. Focus on goals. Focus on like new things.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Yeah. So we're going to try to stop being love obsessed in 2025.
Okay.
But
I feel like we can do it, I believe.
Yeah. But you remember that, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I also
hate that feeling.
I have to say, I'm in a lot of like message boards for people with ADHD because I have ADHD. And like, limerence, I think, is one of those things that happens because it becomes sort of like a hyperfixation for you.
Oh my God,
and
absolutely.
So that's happened. It like happened to me a lot, not a lot, but it happened to me like once or twice when I was in my 20s, like that kind of like weird obsession.
Yeah.
Not like in a stalking way, but just like in a way that you're like always thinking about them.
You're always thinking about them. You're always kind of like trying to like weasel them into a conversation. You're like, does anybody want to talk about this? You know, it's like,
Exactly. So it's good. It's good to be like aware of that, and to have the verbiage limerence is helpful, I think, for a lot of people.
No, totally. I thought it was pretty insightful. Okay, so now we are going to be talking about some Reddit dating stories that I thought were so funny this week.
Okay.
Not even funny, but like just interesting, and I think we should talk about them. So one of the Reddits that went viral this week was man says his mother and sister still kept in touch with his cheating ex. Okay, so here's how it happened. A 28-year-old man shared on Reddit that he broke up after a 2-year relationship with this girl he was dating after finding out that she was cheating. Okay. So even after he ended the relationship, and explained what had happened, he discovered that his mother and sister were still talking to his ex-girlfriend. The family members claim that they're just being friendly and maintaining social ties, but the guy feels extremely uncomfortable because he sees this continued friendship as betrayal.
Yeah.
You know? So he confronted them. They defended their right to stay in touch with her, and the sister accused him of being controlling. So he ended up cutting off communication with his mom and his sister because he was so upset that they were still talking to his ex-girlfriend, who he thinks totally betrayed him. And he asked Reddit, was he wrong for considering no longer talking to his mom and sister over this? What do you think?
That's tough. I feel like his mom and sister are definitely in the wrong here.
Yeah.
I think
blood is thicker than water.
Yeah, but also, like, she's not a good person if she was cheating on him. And they've been dating for 2 years. It's not even, like, a misunderstanding where they thought they were on a break or something. Like, there's not that much, like, it's pretty black and white, I think.
Yeah, and it's like, is she, like, adding, like, such value to your life? Like, is she, like, a brand ambassador and she's giving you free aloe clothing? Because if not, like, I don't understand why you would keep talking to that girl.
I'm kind of, like, just being friendly. What?
For why?
And maintaining social ties. Like, are you guys in a town with only 7 other people? If so, I kind of get it. But, like, if not, there are millions of people on this earth. Like, I don't know if you need to befriend her.
Yeah.
And it's not like they grew up together or something. Like, he dated her for 2 years, right? So, I don't know. I don't think he's wrong. I think going no contact with your mom and sister is pretty nuclear. I think if he's really tried everything else, then I get it.
I feel like this has upset me before when like I dated somebody in college, for instance. This is real. I dated this guy for a long time. He cheated on me pretty aggressively, and my friends still were friends with him and would still like his stuff on Instagram, and they were still like, oh, like he's our friend. And I'm like, ew, like, you know that you're my friend first. Like, we were friends first.
Yeah.
Like, you only know that guy because of me. And, like, for you to be, like, friends with this guy still and, like, be supportive of him when, like, he cheated on me and you know that. Yeah. Like, I think that's weird, too. Don't you think that's weird?
No, I think that's really weird. I think you have to, like, especially because it's not like you were not telling people that he cheated on you.
No,
and if you had just been like, oh, we broke up, then, like, sure. But you told your friends, and that still happened, which is I think kind of bogus. But
I know, it's kind of weird. And I think, like, people are always just like, oh, it's like everybody's a part of a big friend group and, like, you know, whatever. But yeah, what a weird, that, like, always, like, made me so mad. I'm like, ew, you're liking his stuff? Like, you know, like, you're on my team, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hello? No, I'm with you. I think that's bogus.
Yeah. But,
okay. So TLDR, sir, you are right. But maybe, like, try and talk to your mom and sister again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The next one. Here's what happened. A 25-year-old woman on Reddit posted about her birthday dinner. She made a reservation for 8 people at a restaurant, and she wanted to keep the gathering small and intimate. Her best friend, we'll call her Lila, had been dating someone for only 2 weeks. And Lila asked to bring this new boyfriend to the birthday dinner. And the birthday girl, she said no. She gave 2 reasons. 1, the reservation is fixed. They can't have more than 8 people. And 2, she doesn't feel comfortable having someone she hardly knows, quote, a total stranger, at this intimate dinner with people she already knows. Lila got upset, accused her friend of, quote, gatekeeping happiness, and wanted the dinner changed, like the venue or the reservation number, to include the new boyfriend. The birthday girl offered a separate outing with Lila and the boyfriend just to include him, but just not at that dinner. Now she's asking if she is in the wrong here. What do we think?
I mean, here's the deal. Like, 2 weeks. Come on.
Oh my God.
You're not bringing a new boyfriend.
Had vegetables in my fridge longer than that. Like,
literally.
I'm sorry.
Like, I'm not bringing, like, it's like so serious to bring a boy to a new social gathering.
Yeah, I know,
like,
but they're 25, so that's probably part of it, right?
I guess. I mean, but it's also like, it's not like asking to bring him to a party. Like, if it's, right, if this girl's having a party, but if it's like a reservation with 8 people, like, that's so weird. Everybody, the dinner automatically has to become about this new guy. Everyone's gonna be like, who's Jim? What's your story? Like, it just has to, because it's like really weird to not be like, hey, what are you doing here? You know, like, you almost have to like make it. And it's also like 2 weeks, like, give it a month, girl.
I know, right?
Do we even know this is gonna last?
How could you know?
In
and like,
this economy,
especially if the friend offered to go out again with them at a different time. Like,
right.
I didn't bring Sumo to your birthday dinner, and I was like, we'll take you out to dinner on a different day. Because like, I'm not gonna have Sumo be a wet blanket on your birthday dinner.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe, love you.
No, I mean, honestly, I would have loved for Sumi to be there. But no, it is like, and that's so different because you guys are married and I know Sumi. But like,
yeah, that's true.
It's just so crazy, like, the idea of like being upset. Like, it's, first of all, it's this other girl's birthday. And then I'm going to like bring my drama and then be upset that you're going to ruin my happiness. It's like, what?
It's like, girl, chill.
Take a step back, my girl.
Take a beat.
Yeah,
also,
very strange.
But I have to say, okay, and this actually is a great segue into our coffee moment of the day.
Yeah.
Which is brought to you by Blackwood Coffee in West Hollywood. We love them Blackwood so much. Shout out to Blackwood.
God, I love it.
My guys love them so much. So if you're ever in LA and you want a coffee, Blackwood Coffee, it's near the intersection of Sunset and Gardner.
It is.
Anyways,
it is great.
I want to talk about what we're watching now, television, as part of our coffee moment, and how we felt about the end of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Please tell me you watched.
Sam, no, I didn't.
Oh my God, Teague. It's the only thing on the internet this summer besides The Hunting Wives, which is also incredible. Everyone should watch it. Very sexy. Oh, well, I mean, did I like the ending? Mm-hmm. It is fraught because the books are different from the show. And the books, I felt, respect to Jenny Han, love her, but like the books I felt had a worse ending. The ending of this gives them a little more personal growth independent of each other and less codependent, so to speak. And then, spoiler alert, they end up together. I mean, I think we all saw that coming. But
yeah.
And so I did like it in that sense. She gets this like sexy French girl Bob, and she like goes to France and like
Cute.
has a sexy French lover. Actually, he's from Mexico. They really got all the diversity in there. Hell yeah.
Wow.
Respect. He's like a beautiful Latino Timothée Chalamet. I'm like here for it.
Amazing.
Give that man a spin-off, by the way, if you're
For
watching.
sure.
Amazon Prime Video, please. Benito needs his own show. But anyways, and so like they end up together, but I feel like a lot of people are hating it online, which I like kind of get, but
I love a show that really is like divisive. You know, it's just
Yes.
like, let's divide the whole country because we don't have anything that we're divided on.
no,
So it's nice to
we're
have
all
a
getting
show.
along really well.
It's nice to have a show that's like what was it, Team Conrad or whatever?
Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah, yeah. They're two brothers and she dates both of them. It's like very messy.
Wow.
Which
I
is
love
also
that.
like so chaotic of her. Respect to this girl. She's a mess.
I kind of love that.
But
you know, honestly, I've just been in such a place mentally that my favorite thing to watch, and I talk about it all the time, is 90 Day Fiancé. Because nothing pulls me out of a slump like reality TV, and especially 90 Day Fiancé.
what about
There's
it?
what?
No, I just want to know what speaks to you.
There's traveling, there's cultural differences, it's comedy just like organically. It's unbelievable programming, and nobody does shows like TLC. Nobody does it. 1,000 Pound Sisters is one of the best shows I've ever watched. It's hilarious. The girls are so funny, and it's relatable. I'm obsessed. TLC can take all my money.
Shout out to TLC.
Shout out to TLC and PBS.
Oh my God, love.
The
We
places
love
I
them
will
both.
be giving my money. NPR, New York
NPR,
Times.
The New York Times, TLC, and TLC. It's
TLC.
Similar bar, you know?
Literally, basically, highbrow.
Highbrow, only
Yeah.
the highest of brow. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We've loved you being here with us. Thank you again so much to Blackwood Coffee for sponsoring our Coffee Minute.
Yes.
And for you guys for all being here today.
Yeah, what a great day.
I
You know,
know.
it's just nice to have this at the start of the week. But we will see you guys next week. It's going to be fun.
For sure. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.